So here we are again with another PB&J podcast where we open up a... What?
This is my thing.
Oh, sorry. Well, you were eating, so I figured someone had to do it.
Sorry. Anyway, here we are again with another PB&J podcast where we order a tasty, green, knowledge-filled burrito, and then we add some delicious green wisdom sauce on top. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You got a thing for this sauce, don't you?
I love myself some
love
sauce.
That sauce.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's still cold. Last time we finally got some good news. We looked long and hard at how there was nothing we could do to fix ourselves after turning against God. Mm-hmm. We were kind of like Anakin in the planet Mustafar, where he's like burning in lava, he's trying to crawl out of it, and he's just trying to survive.
Right.
But the problem is, he couldn't do it. I mean, he was missing an arm and his legs for crying out.
No, he was done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He needed someone to rescue him. Thank God he sent Jesus to do exactly that.
So, you're saying Jesus is like the emperor?
No, we're saying we are like Anakin.
Okay.
In Romans 5:8, we learned that God loved us so much that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us.
Right.
So, this is what I don't get. Why did Jesus still have to die for us? I mean, couldn't God have just said, I forgive you guys, but, let's forget all that bad stuff you guys did?
Dude, we talked about this last week. The answer is no, you can't. Remember we said that it's part of God's nature, part of who he is to be perfectly just, so he can't let unjust things go unpunished. Someone has to pay.
Okay, I remember that now. But why couldn't we just have made up the wrong for what we did by doing something else, Mm-hmm. So, like, when our students get in trouble at school, they have to go to the principal's office, or maybe go to detention, the high school version of timeout.
Yeah.
They don't get, like, a lightsaber stabbed in their chest, and they die in front of their Padawan, and they're in the Padawan's arms and everything. I mean, like Qui-Gon Jinn,
Right.
It just doesn't do that.
Right. They can pay for their wrong things that they've done and then move on.
Right.
Yeah. And a lot of religions think that way. They think that you can somehow fix your relationship with God or somehow get close to him, earn your way into heaven by doing some good things. So some people believe that you can chant enough phrases enough times, or they actually punish themselves enough, or they try to be a good enough person. Maybe they make some type of peace offering so that they can pay for the wrong that they've done, or somehow earn their way to God. But it doesn't work that way. The Bible tells us that none of those things could ever be good enough to erase the stain of our sin. In God's universe, in his economy, the way things really are, any rebellion against him is punishable by death. So you disobey God,
right? You
deserve to die.
Yeah, that still sounds harsh, though.
It does. But let's say someone on death row is on death row for some horrible crimes, and let's say they're going to be executed. Now, can they avoid the punishment for their crimes by, let's say, writing a children's book, or donating enough to charity, or maybe writing I'm sorry letters to the families that they've hurt?
Probably not.
No. I mean, and it's the same way with us. The only way for our sin to be paid for and for us to be made right with God is for us to face the full punishment of sin. So we've got to die. But like we said last week, the good news is that God loved us so much that he sent Jesus to die in our place. And Jesus was exactly right when he said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but through me.
Okay, so let me see if I got this straight. Let's recap. You can't get to God because of sin. Mm-hmm. And you can't get rid of sin without paying the price.
Right.
And you can't pay the price and live without Jesus.
Exactly.
So without Jesus, lightsaber in the chest, burning in lava, with no arm and no legs.
Game over.
Game over.
Right.
Wow. Thank God for Jesus.
Literally.
Yeah. Well, let's spend a few minutes in your small group now and talk about why Jesus is the only way to God. Why can't you get to God by any other way? Why does what Jesus did on the cross make Christianity differ from other religions? And don't forget to memorize John 14:6. Jesus said to him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. And we'll see you here next week, here on the PB&J Podcast.
See ya.
You know what I just realized?
What?
Green shirts.
I saw
green
that.
burrito.
Green
sauce.
Yeah.
So good.